Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are focusing all our attention on large language models. But we're skipping past the basic beginner level stuff.
Right.
We're diving into how LLMs are fundamentally transforming into these proactive strategic consultants that can actually enhance your professional workflow.
And more importantly, drive high-value outcomes. That's the key.
Exactly.
We're trying to shift the mindset here. It's not a glorified typing assistant anymore. It's a high-value analyst.
A high-value analyst. I like that.
And our sources for this deep dive, they're all centered on practical application. We've even got some crucial ethical insights from a specialist, the author of the book Coded Conscience.
So we have to understand the governance side of it, too.
You have to. You can't separate the utility from the ethics. Not anymore.
So our mission today is to give you a personalized blueprint. We want to show you exactly how to use these models as informed, personalized consultants right on your desktop.
Consultants that integrate seamlessly into your most complex work.
Right.
Less time writing simple drafts, more time executing high-impact strategy. Let's get started. Okay, so before you invest any significant time or, money in any platform, our sources insist on a foundational strategy. It's all about efficiency and mitigating risk. What are the 3 non-negotiable steps a professional needs to take?
Okay, so it all boils down to purpose-driven selection.
Purpose-driven.
Yeah. First, you just have to know what tools are even available, what are they capable of. Second, you have to be rigorous about determining what is truly fit for purpose.
So which tool solves my specific high-value problem?
Exactly. And only third do you incorporate it. The goal isn't necessarily to, launch a new AI app as a business.
No.
It's to enhance your current output or to serve the clients you already have, just better.
That makes a lot of sense. It focuses the conversation on strategic need. Now, one key practice that jumped out was this idea of having a favorite and a backup.
Oh, that's absolutely crucial.
Why is that so important? Think about SLAs, service level agreements. If you're promising a client a certain turnaround time and your primary platform goes down,
you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble. You can't afford to go back to slow manual processes. You need immediate redundancy.
A plan B.
A plan B. Now, based on the expert feedback, there's a pretty clear bias toward Claude.
Claude, okay.
Specifically because the output quality is just noted as being significantly higher. It often requires fewer manual tweaks for customer-facing documents.
And here's a fascinating little detail. The sources reveal that even designers and developers at competing platforms, maybe even some working on ChatGPT, have been known to use Claude for writing code.
Yes. And it seems to come down to the quality of the internal logic and just how clean the generated code block is.
So it's an efficiency play.
It's pure efficiency. Now, using a competitor's LLM to build your own product, that might violate some API terms of service.
I was going to say, that sounds a little risky.
It is, but they do it because Claude's output for complex code is often cleaner. It just reduces debugging time. It's a faster path to getting things deployed.
That's a pretty strong case for a professional investment. But on the other side, Gemini is recommended as more of a free sandboxing gem.
Precisely. You need a place to practice, right? To work on your prompting, to do that iterative refinement without it being high stakes.
But that brings us right back to governance.
Always.
When you're picking a tool, you have to consider its inherent bias, how it was trained.
And this is critical. Certain platforms, Grok was mentioned, have been criticized for skipping the red teaming process.
Red teaming.
That's the adversarial testing. It's designed specifically to find and correct biases. So if you skip that, any biases that were baked into the training data,
they just stay there.
They stay there fully intact right from the start. And that is a huge factor in who you decide to partner with digitally.
So to really understand the power we have today, we need to trace the evolution a bit. Let's start with phase 1, the infancy of the LLM. What was its main job?
Initially, it was just a content aggregator, a really powerful one, but an aggregator. These early models use natural language processing, or NLP, to just surface and structure content.
They scraped it.
They scraped massive amounts of big data and the public internet.
Okay, let's just quickly define NLP for anyone who isn't deep in the jargon.
Sure. NLP is simply the field of AI that teaches computers how to process, understand, and generate human language. It's the magic that lets your computer understand a command like summarize the Q3 financials in a bulleted list.
Got it. But those early models were famous for the hallucination problem.
Oh, they were plagued by it. They would just confidently make stuff up.
And the more complex your query.
The higher the risk of fabricated data. It was the defining flaw of phase one. They were really only good for simple transactional tasks.
Like what?
Writing a basic email, maybe handling some scheduling, pulling together some elementary answers for an RFP. But citations, accountability.
Non-existent.
Totally. Which, really restricted their use in any kind of professional customer-facing way.
Then we hit what our sources call the Middle Ages, roughly 3 years ago. What was phase two trying to do?
Phase two attempted what you could call rudimentary end-user computing.
Okay.
The models tried to populate Excel sheets, generate very basic images, draft simple Word and PowerPoint docs. It was trying to mimic human clerical work.
But it wasn't very good at it.
Not at all. The output quality was consistently poor. It just wasn't fit for any kind of customer deliverable. It was almost always faster to just do the work yourself.
And now we're in the current model. And the progress has been astronomical. Last year's LLMs were called AP honor students.
And today, they truly are consultants on your desktop.
So what was the big shift?
Context and nuance. That's the seismic shift. The current models can access and integrate your previous queries, your specific writing style, even custom data models you feed them.
So they're not just regurgitating the internet anymore.
Not at all. They're synthesizing information based on your known context to provide genuinely advisory, strategic answers.
This shift to a true consultant means we have to change how we interact with it.
Right.
It's a real conversational dynamic now.
Exactly. The model has to get to know you intimately. You're basically training your own digital counterpart.
So you have to decide, do I type to it so it learns my phrasing, my tone?
Or do you speak to it, which relies much more heavily on that advanced NLP to capture your spoken intent? The end goal is the same, though. Output that sounds indistinguishable from your own professional voice.
And this requires mastering the nuanced prompt. The sources had a great example with image generation. If you just ask it to create an image based upon this topic, what could go wrong?
Well, it might make a fatal assumption. It could default to generating, say, an infographic code.
Which isn't what you need for a big brand presentation.
Not at all. An effective prompt has to be long form. It has to be highly descriptive, super specific. You should be able to dictate every single element, right down to the hexadecimal color code for your brand.
Wow.
If you leave a blank space, the model will fill it, and it will fill it with a generic placeholder.
And this need for detail, it ties directly into that ethical framework you mentioned. ET&T.
Explainable, trustworthy, and transparent. It's the bedrock of using AI professionally.
So how did the new models help with that?
The breakthrough is that they make it so much easier to surface the data lineage. They can provide hyperlinked citations showing you exactly where the source material came from.
Which is non-negotiable for professional accountability.
Absolutely. If a client challenges a fact in your report, you have to be able to trace it back to a trustworthy source instantly.
Let's get into a concrete application. Strategic business development on LinkedIn. Our expert uses the platform for thought leadership networking.
Connecting with buyers and partners, yep.
And the simple query was, what content performs best on LinkedIn?
And the model gave a very textbook, very directional answer. It cited all the general best practices, recommending documents and carousels, mastering your hashtags, things like that.
Pretty standard stuff.
Very standard. It even warned against overt sales pitches and, those contextless motivational quotes.
But the expert found a contrarian success story. This is where the human strategy comes in.
This is the perfect synthesis. The model's advice was solid for optimizing general engagement likes, shares, that sort of thing.
Right.
But the expert found that their highest value partnerships, we're talking ad hoc consulting gigs, major M&A advisory roles, they all came from long-form articles, deeply researched essays.
So why does defying the model's suggestion work better?
Because the algorithm is optimizing for mass engagement. But high-value buyers, a C-level executive or a private equity partner, they aren't scrolling for quick likes.
They're doing due diligence.
They're doing due diligence. They are searching for deep perspective, for specific proprietary expertise. So you use the hashtag for visibility, sure, but you write the long-form essay for the high-value conversion.
That's a great example. You use the AI for intelligence.
Right.
Then you adapt that intelligence to your unique goal.
Exactly.
Okay, now we get to the core of high-value automation.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, it started with a very human need. Mitigating impostor syndrome. The expert literally asked the model, am I qualified to take this consultation?
And how should I position myself? The ability for the model to self-assess the user's capabilities based on the context it has on them it's revolutionary.
So give us a scenario.
In one case, the user fed the LLM their complete resume, all their past written works, and then asked it to compare two major job opportunities. Let's say one at Athena Health versus one at Wellington Management.
And the model's feedback was startlingly personalized.
And blunt. It used the user's own documented history to give strategic advice. It said things like, based on your preference for strategic leadership and your past writings, you would likely be bored out of your mind implementing software at the Athena role.
Wow, it's that specific.
Oh yeah, it even gave practical points about the commute, the company culture, and whether the role aligned with their desire for strategic oversight versus just, technical implementation.
I have to pause here. This is an incredible use case. But is there a risk in using an LLM to completely mitigate imposter syndrome? I mean, does it potentially remove that necessary self-reflection?
That's an excellent, really critical question. But the way our source sees it, the model isn't replacing self-reflection. It's providing objective, data-backed analysis for the self-reflection.
Okay, so it's a tool for thought, not a replacement for it.
Precisely. It highlights your gaps and your strengths based purely on the documents, and it removes the emotion. The human still has to make the final call. The model might say you're qualified, but you still have to prepare. It just shifts the self-doubt from, am I good enough, to how do I best leverage my documented skills?
That makes a lot of sense. So let's move to the ultimate workflow automation. Responding to high-value ad hoc advisory requests, what the source called the vice money.
The vice money, yeah. These are premium short-term gigs. They can pay up to like $725 an hour on platforms like Dialectica and Tice.
So how does the LLM automate this specific process?
This is where the time savings are just massive. When a high-value request comes in, the expert feeds the text to the model.
And the model already has their resume, their writing style?
It has everything on file. So it instantly analyzes the client's request, suggests a set of key personalized deliverables, and then it drafts a near-final tailored response.
So it's not just drafting an email, it's doing strategic analysis.
Absolutely. The model understands the competitive landscape. It knows if this request should be answered by positioning the expert against, say, Accenture or Deloitte.
So it's framing the response.
It's crafting a response that establishes authority, cites the expert's specific resume points, and suggests deliverables that set the price anchor high, all within seconds.
So the task that used to take, 30, 60 minutes?
At least, it reduces that down to a 5-minute review process. That's the power.
Beyond the big general models, specialized tools are also essential. Let's talk about Gamma, which the expert uses a lot. What is Gamma's niche?
Gamma is really useful as a first-stop presentation creator, but its highest value use is creating microsites.
The microsites.
Yeah. The expert uses the microsite as an allegory for a polished, lead-generating business card. It's a quick, interactive way to showcase your credentials, your capabilities, and how a client can immediately engage with you.
How does that compare to something like Canva? So many professionals use Canva for quick graphics. What's the real distinction?
They serve different masters. Canva is superior for content that's meant to evoke emotion, to build an indelible brand impression. It's great for omni-channel marketing, customer experience.
So Gamma for the pitch, Canva for the brand.
That's a great way to put it. Gamma is purpose-built for business development and rapid, structured pitches. But it has a caveat.
Okay.
Gamma embeds its code in a way that often requires about 45 minutes of manual cleanup after generation, especially if you need really precise text manipulation.
Good to know. And finally, LLMs are now handling genuinely complex computing tasks like strategic marketing segmentation.
Which is highly strategic. Segmentation is all about dividing your total audience into nuanced, actionable groups, based on demographics, psychographics, behavior.
So you stop marketing to everyone.
And you start focusing on high-return clusters. And LLMs are crucial here because they can analyze the massive data sets required to inform this segmentation almost instantly. They provide strategic insights that feed right into product development, promotions, and pricing.
So if we look back over this whole deep dive, the central insight seems to be this. LLMs today are demanding a total reframing of how we work.
A total reframing.
It's not about just plopping new tech onto old manual processes. It's about leveraging this power to eliminate time spent on low-value tasks.
So you can radically increase the time you dedicate to high-value strategic work.
Exactly.
It's truly about optimizing your time for critical thinking. We saw it in grant writing, in RFP processes, where synthesis and speed are everything. And to leave you with a couple of actionable steps to integrate this into your week, consider 2 things.
Lay it on us.
First, pair this new tech workflow with an existing productivity tool. Something like the Pomodoro method.
25 minutes on, 5 minutes off.
Exactly. 25 minutes of highly focused LLM-assisted work, followed by a 5-minute cognitive break. It's a great way to manage the density of these high-value tasks.
Okay, what's the second one?
Second, try Zena Collins's prompt hack. Ask your LLM to provide an overview of the most efficient and value-added ways you are currently using it.
Wait. You're asking the consultant to analyze its own consulting effectiveness?
Exactly. The model monitors your query patterns and the successful outcomes. By asking it to summarize your own usage, it delivers a personalized list of your best practices, strategies you can then refine and share with your team.
So it's continuous improvement.
Driven by the tool itself.
That is an incredibly powerful, reflective thought. Use the consultant to consult on how you are using the consultant. That wraps up this deep dive. We hope this has given you the strategic framework you need to approach your digital desktop as a true partner.
And if you understand knowledge and education is more important than money, with the knowledge and the wisdom, the money don't come. Yeah. Some people only work for the money. Don't work for the money. Be passionate about what you believe in your dreams, and you're going to get there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to always be able to get through the storm and get back up if you fall. I tell people, it don't matter. If you crawling across that finish line, it's a marathon. Keep going. Yeah. You don't have to be able to walk or run all the time. It might take you longer. Like, look at us with Rap Snacks. It took us 20 years. People was laughing at us. So